Thank you, Earl. It's an honor to be here. You know, it's great to see Cats TV coming of age. We need small businesses like this in our area. So I'm really proud of you, your producers, and everybody that's involved for the great effort you all are putting out to give an extra entity to Clay County.
Well, we're certainly, that was our goal to do that and bring a lot of things via Facebook and YouTube. And you can go on to Southeast Kentucky Network on Facebook as well, and Clay County Sports Network, CC Sports Network, and to get you Facebook Live all across the universe, and YouTube as well, and kind of give people an update what's happening in Clay County and Southeast Kentucky. And the biggest race we've got here, Ralph, involves you, and you're no stranger to the political realm. You have been around, had a Senate run a few years back. This time it's for state representative, the 90th district, which is Clay, Leslie, and a portion of Laurel County.
I'm excited about this race. You know, I feel like it's time we got something for our part of Kentucky. All my life, we've lived and tried to bring jobs and industry and different things to our region, and we've had a lot of trouble. But what I'm looking at, we need bold movements that will really make a difference for our region. We need a 4-lane road from London to Hazard. We have to open this district up. Folks, without a road, you can't have anything. We have to bring in water. We need a lake in our area. We have to support education. We have to work to make sure that we've got a quality school system. The way we do that, we improve the whole holistic approach to Clay County into this region. So I'm running to try to do some things that's never been done before. You know, everybody promises us jobs. We're never going to have jobs, Earl, until we get roads, water, and other infrastructure, and until we improve education, and we got to take care of health care. That's what's going to improve Clay County, Eastern Kentucky, Lester County, Laurel County. If we had a 4-lane road from Hazard to London, that would put, London has been a crossroads. North would meet south, east would meet west. It would really improve the quality of life in our region.
Geographically speaking, I read a study, and I know you sit on numerous boards, Industrial Authority boards, Elk Mountain Regional Board, and you've been a part of several boards, but I read a study once that said Kentucky, and in particular Southeast Kentucky, is positioned for one of the greatest hubs for all of the United States of America. Almost geographically a more centralized place to export goods.
Oh, absolutely. We are in a prime area not only to export, but tourism. Look what we could do with tourism, or where we're at if we had the roads and the infrastructure necessary. Eastern Kentucky has got the greatest people in the world. They're proud, hardworking, industrious people. And if we just had an opportunity, and we could have that if we work together and build our infrastructure that's needed.
You are a retired educator, spent many years in the school system. You've been in the classroom, you've been a principal, been a superintendent. One of the hot buttons concerning, I guess, state government has been the pension. You know, the pension, and kind of like we described last week, was, so to speak, the elephant in the room.
Amen.
But you are a part of this pension.
Right.
You've gave your life to educate the youth in Clay, Jackson, Leslie, also Knox County, and beyond counties, some other counties. It's not an easy fix.
No, it's not.
But it is a fix. You can fix it.
The pension system, in my opinion, is one of the most important things we can do for the quality of education. Teachers have to feel secure in the classroom. Support staff have to feel secure that they're going to have a pension system. The state auditor actually did a report that the pension system would be fine if we fully fund it, leave it alone, not let people out of the system. What we have to do to have a good, solid pension system, number one, is fully funded. Number two, not touch it, and leave everybody that's in it. The pension will correct itself if we do those things.
We talk about water, roads, the infrastructure. We talk about the backbone of the worker from Eastern Kentucky, and you, I, and a lot of people watching this right now, we all have family that has made the exit from here up north to work. If you talk to any foreman at a factory up north, they will tell you, I will be happy to employ immediately any Eastern Kentuckian comes because of the work ethic. We were brought up kind of a mode of fix it ourselves type of people. And we learn those traits, and when we go off somewhere, we certainly put them to use, and they realize that. But it'll be so nice to have that here. We have the land, as you've mentioned. The land's here.
The land is here, and the workforce is here. We've got the individuals. There's 2 or 3 things that I think we need to do to really make a difference. Again, roads, we have to have infrastructure. It's hard to come to Clay County, to Leicester County, to build a factory when you can pull off side of I-75 anywhere you want to and build one in Laurel or in Whitley County. What we have to do, though, other than just the roads, we need a training mechanism, Earl. We need to take our vocational schools, open them up at night, and do things to improve the quality of life for people in Eastern Kentucky. Train them for welding, technology, any kind of program, plumbing, heating, air. We could do that fairly inexpensive if we used our vocational schools, our existing vocational schools. Open those up at night and train individuals where that we can let these individuals see there's a future. The biggest problem we have in Eastern Kentucky, our kids don't want to leave Eastern Kentucky. They're happy. They love Eastern Kentucky. If we had a training center in Eastern Kentucky where they could stay at home and get the training, we could produce endless numbers of welders, mechanics, plumbers, heating and air conditioning people, electricians, and we could do it with our own resources here at home. But first, we just have to open these programs up at night early and train our individuals.
And even some of the adult class work as well. I mean, some adults could take that training. When I went to a vocational school back in, 1989, a few years back, we had a couple of adult students in every class as at vocational school. And there also, at that particular time, there were a couple of non-classes, as you mentioned. They were working toward a GED or they were learning a trade. And a lot of those found employment in the things we're going to need the most in a modern world, and we all know this. You get on a pipe bust underneath your house on the 18th day of January, it's hard to find a plumber. The roof gets a hole in it, it's hard to find a roofer. Mechanic, welder, same thing you've been mentioning.
When you look at it from a holistic approach, back in Jackson County, we opened up, went to the state, we've got our own unemployment office. We actually set up an unemployment office. That individual could also refer people back to our vocational school. If we had a system set up in Eastern Kentucky where that not only just train people for the necessary jobs that you're talking about, but also improve the quality of life for other citizens.
Right.
I don't know how many people would love to take a computer program class or a basic technology class. We could do that so inexpensively it wouldn't even matter. Probably $300 or $400 a week, we could open up 5 or 6 classes because we have the school already set up. We have the qualified teachers. We got some of the greatest teachers in the world here in Clay County, in Leicester County. You could open those 2 vocational schools up at night. You could fill them with endless number of people, improving the quality of life, but also the basic trainings that we have to survive as a society. If you have the trained workers, industry would come.
Absolutely, I agree with that. The next step we've talked about a lot is tourism. Tourism is a piece of the puzzle, and being around you quite a few years, and like I say, sitting in meetings, I've heard you speak several times on the importance of a complete puzzle. You've talked about roads and infrastructure. You have to put the pieces of the puzzle together. One of those is tourism.
Absolutely.
If we come here, we want to have something to do. And it seems like Clay County is really, and Leslie County too, we're trail town here, of course, and Clay County for kayaking and 4-wheelers. The fiscal court here has approved legislation to where 4-wheelers can be on county roads, so is Leslie County, the city of Hyden, city of Manchester, also, and a portion of Laurel County. Of course, they have the Livingston area there. They're a trail town, Wildcat Off-Road Park, but there's an abundance of land here, and we're really starting to take notice of it. If you go anywhere, and I'm Leslie County or Clay County or Laurel County, every weekend you will see a truck and a trailer, 2 things on it. You're going to see ATVs and side-by-sides, or you're going to see kayaks, and you're thinking, wow. And every time I go to the grocery store here, I make a point, and I know some people probably think I'm some kind of Mad Hatter or something, but I say, hey, where are you from? And the reason I ask that is I just want to kind of gauge. And they say, look, we're coming here to ride trails. We're coming here because we've heard of it. Ohio, Indiana, Georgia, South Carolina. I've talked to a lot of different folks, and it goes back to what you're saying. They stay in a motel, they stay in some of their cabins or primitive camping or whatnot, but they're here spending money. Laurel, Clay, and Leslie.
I was amazed on Labor Day. I spent the day just driving around, looking at the county, I went through Leslie and I went back in Clay, and I was just amazed at the opportunity we have that we're not fully capitalizing on.
Absolutely.
The kayaking, we've got 2, I think, ramps to put kayaks in. We need 30 or 40. We've got 2 of the greatest rivers in the world right here in Clay County. People love those activities. And it's not only the outsiders, a lot of our local citizens.
Oh, absolutely.
I actually went up on Miracle Mountain,
Mm-hmm.
and they were endless numbers of RVs and people camping up there at the campsite. I came back and I went down to the RV camp down at Beach Creek. Had a lot of people down there
Right.
camping, a lot of trailers. But I also came back and I pulled over the side of the road there at Manchester Park where they've got the kayak entrance.
Mm-hmm.
There was 5 people coming up out of the river. Folks, those are the happiest people in the world. They were talking about how beautiful our river system is, how great it is to be able to go out and do the activity here at home. That's the greatest missing piece we have is the beauty of our region. We're not capitalizing on it, and we need to do more in that area. We've already made big headways. There are a lot of people involved. A lot of things are happening. We just need to keep pushing the envelope.
You know, I see people, another thing, fishing, horseback riding. Went down Newfound at one particular time, and I know everyone out here has heard of the Narrows before and the beauty down there. Saw 3 people on a boat, and I asked them, where were you from? 2 were from Paintsville, and 1 was from Ashland. But they had heard of the muskie fishing
Absolutely.
that we have here, so they come here to do it. And as you mentioned, you go back to that big structured puzzle that you've always mentioned. Every piece has to fit together. You've been an educator. You've been in the insurance business. You've done a lot. Been a cheerleader for the, Eastern Kentucky folks. But you began your career, of course, Clay County boy. Started education. Tell us a little bit about your background, how it begun, where you went to college.
I was born and raised up on Double Creek in a log house.
Mm-hmm.
I had the greatest family, greatest childhood in the world. My mother and father loved each one of their children, and you knew you were loved. There was 9 children in our family. I've got 4 brothers and 4 sisters. Outstanding people. I, as most Eastern Kentuckians, are proud of our families. They're great people. They all work hard. They're all doing outstanding things. I wanted to go and do something a little different. I've got 4 brothers that worked in the coal mines.
Right.
I worked in the coal mines and sent myself through college. I loved it. Coal mining was great. I enjoyed the time that I spent there. But when I finished coming to college, I started out working over at Big Creek, and I was there as an elementary teacher for about 4 or 5 weeks, and then they transferred me to Goose Rock. I taught special education, taught in the regular classroom 7th and 8th grade, became assistant principal, then a principal. Then I decided that I wanted to go see what the rest of the world was like, so I went to Berea Independent.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked at Berea Independent for 2 years. I started out as assistant principal, special ed director, group home education phone coordinator. It was a great experience. When I went to Berea Independent, I didn't know a single soul. It was just a complete stranger. I spent 2 years there, and I went up to the last 6 months I was their interim superintendent. Then I went to Jackson County, and I spent 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the greatest thing about Jackson County, when I went, I was completely new in the system. We had $36,000 in the bank to run the school system. Of course, your SINC money comes in, in each month. So, but we started out, we were on the watch list, had $36,000 in the bank. I almost had a heart attack when I saw the account sheet. But we worked there, I stayed there for 13 years. The first 100 days, we made a list of what we wanted to do. The strategic planning consisted of myself, the board members, teachers, principals, community leaders, parents, and even some children at our high school. I talked to different individuals. What do we need? We made a list of things that we wanted to accomplish. And everybody thought that we were crazy because we wanted to build a new vocational school. Hadn't been a vocational school built since 1974. So that was on our list. We wanted to renovate all of our elementary schools. We wanted an education complex where we would have a vocational school and a new high school attached to it. We wanted to be able to have preschool in all the schools instead of just a couple of classrooms. We wanted to start a football program. Now, this is in Jackson County where basketball's king. When I left 13 years later, we'd accomplished all of our goals. We have $1.3 million in the bank the last year when I left. So I felt real good about what we had done. And I tell you this to let you know, if you have a goal, if you have a need, and if you work to solve those problems, involve the community, and really push and shove for what you want, you can accomplish great things. After I left Jackson County, I retired, came back and worked for Accept for about 6 months. I worked with their teleworks program. I'd been on their board, and I came back and I actually worked for them and helped set up the Anvil Hub. Teleworks is one of the greatest programs
Absolutely.
in the world. I talked to the county judge down in Owsley County, and he says it's really made a difference in their economy. Says it's really picked up their economy. But teleworks was a great thing. But then I took an internship, and I entered a superintendency position over in Knox County.
Right.
I did that for 6 months. Then I came back and went to Leslie County, and I did an interim stint in Leslie County. I've loved education, still do. Education's one of the greatest things in the world. The first day I walked in the classroom, it was like throwing baby rabbit in a bar patch. You know, I was home. It was always so natural for me to work with children, work in the classroom, work with teachers, and the whole education process. I've taught classes for Union College, Carmen College, Union College, and Eastern Kentucky University School of Finance and some special ed classes, and I even like that. I love education. But when I retired after the last stint, I went into the insurance business so I could raise my 2 kids. I lost my wife in 2015, and I needed to stay home, and so I started selling little life insurance. And the more that I look around and the more that I talk to my children, the more that I'm concerned that my children are going to leave Clay County. They're going to, when they get through professional school or college or whatever they decide to do, they'll go somewhere else for opportunity. Folks, I want to provide that opportunity here in our region. We've got the beauty. We've got the hard workers. We've got everything we need. We just need an opportunity. And I want to make sure that we get that early.
Well, Ralph, it's been our pleasure with you this broadcast this evening, and certainly I know that you've been a busy man.
Oh, we've had a long day.
And going to have more longer ones.
Yes.
But that's part of it, and we want to wish you the best. And November 3rd, it's different type of election again this time. I think in Clay County, 5 precincts are going to be available out of the 20 to where you can go vote. Leslie, I'm sure, has got a workup the same way. Laurel as well.
Yeah.
All precincts are not going to be open. They are ongoing encouragement for folks to go online, sign up for the absentee ballots. You can do that on the websites. I know ky.gov has information there, some other websites as well. And that's pretty much the way we're going to do this election. Then hopefully COVID-19 is going to leave us, and coming up on 2022, we'll have a regular year. I think we're off next year as far as an election year goes. So hopefully when 2022 comes around, we'll have back to what we're accustomed to. But as of now, folks need to remember that. You've got a chance to vote absentees and get those in. Don't know the exact date when it's going to be open at Mike Baker's office, but they're also going to be absentee balloting and voting there as well.
Right. And folks, every vote matters. Every vote counts. I remember even here in Clay County, we had a magistrate's race that we had to flip a coin to see who actually won the race. It was tied. So every vote does matter. I encourage everyone to come out and vote. Think about Ralph Hoskins on Election Day. Thank you.
For Mitch Hawkins and Eddie Smith, Ralph Hoskins, I'm Earl Owens. See you next time.